My dear, sweet pumpkin, you think you are ready? Then you are wrong! I think most people have noticed that everything that is wrong is right, and everything that is right is wrong. And people who are usually engaging in this behavior are narcissists, because to a narcissist, their wrong behavior, according to them, is the truth. That is what is correct. And if people do not submit to their narcissistic delusions,
then everyone is wrong.
I think most of us have been affected by narcissists. And narcissism is lately at an all-time
high.
And why is that really? I mean, one explanation is that the rise of the internet and social media is a huge contributor to the spread of the narcissist virus, because social media and the internet rewards people that engage in narcissistic behavior. And along with narcissism, another thing has spread rapidly, like wildfire. And I don't really see or hear anyone talking about it. And that is emotional immaturity.
I'm sorry! No! Why? Do you really hate it that bad?
It's very common with people who has a cluster B personality disorder. And what else has been on the rise lately? Pet ownership is also at an
all-time high.
And what pet is right now the most popular? It is dogs. So how many are registered globally? 900 million. That is a lot. That is too damn
high.
So what does dogs have to do with all this? It is connected to narcissism. And I know what you might be thinking right now. How can someone who is a narcissist be a pet owner? Because if you are a pet owner, don't you love animals? And interesting enough, it turns out that empathy towards humans and empathy towards animals are different. They actually have very little in common. So just because you love animals, it doesn't mean you will love humans the same way, even at all. With that being said, let me read you a little bit from a study titled Exploring Narcissism and Human and Animal-Centered Empathy in Pet Owners, published on PubMed Central, National Library of Medicine. It is widely believed that individuals who are highly empathetic towards humans will exhibit the same level of empathy towards animals. For instance, individuals who are violent towards animals and have low animal-centered empathy may display the same aggression and low empathy towards humans. Although human and animal-centered empathy tap the same psychological mechanisms, they are independent and influenced by separate factors. For example, individuals who owned a pet display higher animal-centered empathy, but lower human-centered empathy, compared to those who have not owned a pet. Human-centered empathy may be related to, but distinct from animal-centered empathy. Low Human-centered empathy relates to enhanced concern for animal welfare. For example, some militant animal activists exhibit a great sense of animal-centered empathy and concern for animal welfare, while directing violence towards humans in the name of their cause. Recently, researchers have argued that narcissism can be divided into 3 facets: agentic extroversion, narcissistic neuroticism, and antagonism. In recent meta-analysis, it is found that agentic extroversion, antagonism, and narcissistic neuroticism were related to less human-centered empathic concern. Yet only narcissistic neuroticism predicted greater feelings of personal distress in response to another person's suffering. Individuals high in grandiose narcissism prefer to be seen as superior and dominant. As a result, individuals high in grandiose narcissism might be motivated to own a pet to feel a sense of power over another living being. Researchers have found a positive relation between being high in dominance and owning a dog. Pet owners who are high in narcissistic neuroticism, a trait uniquely associated with vulnerable narcissism, relative to other forms, may report greater animal-centered empathy, more positive attitudes towards animals, and higher pet attachment compared to those who are low in narcissistic neuroticism. Although it is widely thought that empathy for humans corresponds to empathy for animals, researchers have demonstrated that people's empathy for animals is distinct from their empathy for humans. Lower human-centered empathy is commonly associated with narcissistic characteristics. We found that individuals with certain narcissistic traits display different levels of empathy for animals and humans. Narcissistic neuroticism was unrelated to human-centered empathy, but positively related to animal-centered empathy. Individuals high in narcissistic neuroticism may empathize with animals to a greater extent than they empathize with humans and may use their pet as a means of regulating their negative emotions and controlling their insecurities. From a human to animal interaction perspective, this research highlights another way in which human-centered empathy may be related to, but distinct from, animal-centered empathy. Research of animal-centered empathy is important, as it could provide further insight into empathy in narcissistic individuals. So it turns out that the saying,
Never trust a person who doesn't love animals,
is incorrect. The correct term is never trust a person who only loves animals.
Hän ratsastaa myrskyssä pukkostaan ja raivoissaan. Vapauttakaos demonisella huutollaan. Hän levittää pimeytensä ympäri